Hi there, this is Save with Crypto. Okay, so as we were discussing yesterday, the rates have indeed changed and not for the better, obviously. This here is the screenshot I did yesterday. So, for example, the staking farm was 140, it's now 113. That's pretty rubbish, isn't it? The LP farms gone from 213 to 112. eGold USDC, actually that wasn't so bad, 160 to 106. But then Ride eGold from 176 to 97. So that's all quite sad, really, isn't it? But I mean, what it means it takes twice as long to make the same amount of money. But you know, that's how it's going to be, isn't it? I mean, the rates are still great, aren't they, really? I mean, you know, you wouldn't get 113% from your bank. Now, the question is it going to be better to just put everything into the MEX, MEX staking farm? And to be honest, I don't know. Because I still believe the price of Ride might increase a lot, and I'm certain that the price of EGLD will also increase a lot as well. So I don't really see any other easy way of producing the MEX. So for that reason, you can probably guess what I'm going to say. I'm going to keep my LP tokens intact, and I'm probably going to keep doing exactly what I have been doing. Well, of course, what we have now is Metabonding. So here it's saying that snapshots begin in 20 days. I've looked on various parts of the internet. I've looked on Reddit and the various Telegram groups. And I think what we need to do is you need some eGold staked on the Maiar app. Okay. Now I did leave 100 eGold staked in the Maiar app purely for this kind of reason, because I thought that was probably going to be a good thing to do for these kind of airdrops. Also, what you can do is you can stake MEX. Now, where are we supposed to do that? I think that's in the Dex. I think that's where they want it to be. And I think it's this farm here. I think this is where you need your MEX staked. So I'm good. The question is, are you? And also the question is, if you've got your eGold in farms like these, is that where you want it to be? Now, my friend Vlad over in Bucharest, he said that to qualify for airdrops, you generally need to be the most efficient. You need 10 eGold staked on the Maiar app. So if you have 10 eGold spare, I would probably suggest that you stake that on the Maiar app. Now, I suppose the question would be, is if you don't have that, are you going to split up your LP tokens here? I can't really advise on that because I'm not going to. I'm going to leave mine intact. And of course, I'm going to staking the MEX here and reinvesting it when I can. Now then, there was some great comments on my video yesterday, so thank you everyone for that, and thank you for those that did comment. In particular, the one that grabbed my attention was this one by OG.Bitcoin. You can read this yourself. In fact, I think I'll pin this. There you go. That's pinned at the top. So it said, hello community, just something I noticed on my 2 accounts about your impermanent loss questions between eGold, MEX, LP. So I tested the following out on 2 of my accounts. I waited until I had more MEX than eGold in the LP. 2, I pulled out the LP and took out my MEX and EGLD. 3, it turned out that the extra MEX that was displayed on the LP pairing turned out to be additional MEX, not MEX. I don't quite get that. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but interesting if it is. 4, I was then able to convert this additional MEX, which I thought was additional MEX since it was the LP farm position I was in, that showed the impermanent loss imbalance. So I was able to convert this additional MEX back to eGold and still retained my MEX total. Well, some interesting stuff going on there. They went on to say, doing this action allowed me to get even more eGold, but maybe that was just my luck and the timing of the market of how much eGold I could get from the MEX swap at the time. But this makes sense since that eGold was cheaper, since it was the one being pulled out of my LP in exchange to MEX. Originally, since it was showing lower eGold to MEX ratio. Okay, I might have to read this a few times because, obviously they were either quite lucky or just a bit clever, really. But yeah, I mean, do take a look at that comment because there's some interesting stuff going on there. A lot of people talking about that locked MEX.exchange. I haven't used it myself, but X Inferno is saying, for reference, for one eGold you get about 500,000 MEX. Jane was saying that the LP interest is down. I'm wondering if the Metabonding upcoming rewards on their site have increased interest in the LP liquidity, which lowered interest rates. Yes, possibly. Pepsi TV was saying, since the APR of eGold MEX is 111, is it still worth to keep that LP token farming? Are the rewards still bigger than the impermanent loss? I would have thought so, yeah. Skateboarding said, did remove my liquidity from eGold MEX farm and put MEX into the normal staking farm. My eGold are going into Maiar app delegation. It feels like they want to get you into Metabonding. LP farming doesn't make sense for me anymore. Well, the thing is, we need to see, how generous it's going to be with the Metabonding. So for the moment, I'm just leaving things as they are. Vashek was saying, I guess the 2k to 1 million is much harder to achieve now, since we will have 50% smaller interests, but we shall see. It just means it'll take longer, that's all. Okay, so there's some interesting points there on yesterday's video, so please do check that out. What I'll do, I'll put a link to that video in the top right hand corner now, so you can go and check it out if you haven't already. Now, Heracel Endar yesterday was saying, can we tell how much we gained as rewards from liquidity pools without withdrawing? I'm asking only about LP rewards and not the farming rewards. Oh, I see. And then I incorrectly replied, I believe you hover over the little I. What you see there is what you get. Heracel was saying, for me, it shows only when you'll unlock the MEX and nothing else. Do you have the LP rewards displayed for you? I don't know, to be honest. I don't think you can tell. I think what Heracel is saying is when you provide liquidity, you get rewards, but you only see them when you withdraw. Look, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm not going to touch any of my bigger farms, but I don't mind taking this one apart. It's an eGold Ride one that was producing straight MEX, and because it was producing straight MEX, it was only it's only on $9.62. Now, when this gets to $10, I'll do a harvest, and I'll take it apart. I'll also look at the figures of when I set it up, and let's kind of get an idea of what impermanent loss is all about, and put this to bed once and for all. And also see, what you get out when you put stuff into it. I think that would be a good thing to do, really. I'll have to go back to my old videos and get the actual numbers of when I set this one up. I think it was about a month ago. And if you remember, the reason I did this was the idea was to, test a little farm producing straight MEX just to pay the fees. That was all, really. But I think since then I've decided that just staking a bit of eGold in the Maiar app and producing, just some eGold there that you can use for the fees is probably the better way to go. And especially now that we can stake there and get the airdrops from the Metabonding, then I think that's probably the way to go, isn't it? So it'll probably be, I don't know, I guess the end of the week, or maybe when this gets around to $10. But when it is, I'll harvest it and I'll take it apart, see what we've got left. Okay, so if you think that'll be interesting, give the video a like. If you think that's the most dull thing you've ever heard in your life, click dislike twice just to make sure I know. But do leave a nice comment, make sure you're subscribed, tick the notification bell, and above all, tell your friends.